Fishes!
Jenna, thank you so much for chatting today. How are you? How's things?
I'm good. Thank you, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here in your home that I know so well.
Because I haven't seen you for a while. I mean, I caught you at the casting not so long ago.
Yes, for the Vikings. Where's the cheese?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get that job. Didn't get that job. I think there's those auditions that you just do, and you're just like, oh god.
That's
like,
not the one.
I'm not gonna get that unless I've got like the long beard or my long hair. Like, okay, I might have a better chance of getting it. But then you know how it is with commercials. Like you go in, you go out. If they ring you, they ring you. If you get it, you get it. Like,
No, that's my whole repertoire. Walk into that casting, do the thing, walk out, water for duck's back. It's better if you don't even think of it again, because it'll go in your head, and you should. Oh, I should have done that. I should have done that.
Yeah,
no,
I think
hate
I think
don't
that's
do
with
that
the
to
commercials. I always feel that when you walk out, there's always something that you could have, you think of afterwards when you're like, oh shit, I could have done that, and it would have made a difference.
Exactly.
But with commercials, I'm always like, walk in, walk out, forget about it. If you get a call, you get a call. But then obviously when it comes to the TV or film, you're like, you want it. So
No,
it's
you
like,
want it.
you're just waiting. So obviously we've worked together many times over the years, and then I think the last time we worked together was Fry Barry,
Yes.
where you played the little drug addict,
The little junkie. The
on
junkie.
the street, the little junkie, and then you also was in the little commercial on TV, the
Yes.
GG whiskey,
The lingerie whiskey scene.
yeah, with Gary,
With Gary, and first with the Wade Cowan, and then Gary had to replace him.
yeah, which is funny. That's probably the smoothest I've ever seen Gary. Just he was just suave. It was in that
Playing
suit.
it so just I think he was watching Wade quite intensely when it was his turn first, and then to try and copy him was even more hilarious.
Yeah.
Because Wade being the schmodal deluxe,
Yeah,
and then Gary being green.
Such a character. Yeah, such a character. So when we started working together, I think it was the music videos. I think first, because I know we did the Michael Lohman.
Video. Yeah, that was beautiful.
And
we did Delane by Elvis Blues.
Yeah.
That was very cool. What was the one on the?
then we did Edge of Chaos, Concept Approval.
Oh yes, Concept Approval. That was killer.
There's lots.
There's a few.
Yeah,
I love the music
lots.
videos we did.
Yeah. And it's always the thing where, I remember you and Alex talking to me. It was like years ago, and this is the thing I think with actors, like we just want to act.
Yeah.
We just want to act. We want to be involved.
Just shoot anything.
and we just want to shoot everything.
Everything.
And I never forget that there was a project that happened. I'm not going to mention names, but you guys got on board in this thing, and you were like, cool, and then. And you were obviously as actors you're just so hungry to do something. Then obviously you arrive on set and there's like no sound guy or there's a crappy camera, and then
Zero craft table.
This is gonna be a waste of time, and because as actors we also just want to get something for the show reel or whatever, and we want to keep busy. And then I remember saying, to your partner at the time, I said to him, "Well, it's your own fault." And he's like, "What? What do you mean?" And I was like, "Because you didn't check you didn't check the DP show reel, and you didn't check the director's show reel, and that's why it's so sad that because we just want to act, and obviously when you turn up to one of those jobs, it's like you're there, you can't fucking run off now, and you're doomed. You just gotta
that job in
stick it out.
particular. I think we gave him like a year. I swear to God, a year of our time. It was like 3 times a week. We started boxing with the boxing guy like twice a week in the gym to get our characters ready. I mean, he was focusing on our character development more than the actual development of the movie, like getting a camera, getting a DOP.
Yeah.
It was, at least I got to meet some amazing people doing that, but lesson learned, totally.
Yeah. But that's the thing, I think we, like growing up, wanting to do acting and stuff, I know there was always a lot of things that I did that I thought would help me. There's certain routes that everybody's got a different route. And there were certain routes that I was going, and I learned from. And I was like, "Fuck, that was a waste of time." So when I speak to people now and they ask for advice, because people always email me, I always say, do this, don't do that. I promise you, if you do this, it's just going to be a waste of time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. As you get older, you learn and you get more knowledge, and and you can figure out a better path.
Yeah, a better strategy right off the bat, asking the right questions right from the beginning.
Yeah.
That
And it's hard because I
I
had nobody to tell me anything, so I had to like figure out for myself. Like, if anything, I should have came to South Africa probably 2 years earlier. I think it would have made a difference. But it is what it is, and the routes you take, and it's made you who you are today. So it's it's understandable.
Yeah, man.
But with acting, so you've done a lot of TV and film work. What's that one job that's really stood out for you that you really liked or enjoyed?
Well, I suppose one of the first jobs that I got to do my own stunts. We got to work with Larry Lamb, which was insane, and my co-star was Richard Adam Lothian. And I remember, he rocking up to set, and they had the stunties there, and the stunties were so amped that they were going to do the stunts, and we were like, sorry guys, we actually do our own stunts, so show us the run of what you would like us to do. And we both arrived with our kit on, our pads, our armadillos, our watched the sequence and it was hilarious because the stunty almost smacked his head on this glass table. And we were like, guys, should have gone 20% speed. Just giving us a run through. And then we're like, no, cool, we got it. And we smashed it. I mean, the director was more than happy because now I can get that close up of my face being smashed through glasses on the table, manhandled and then choked and now strangled and now the interrogation. So, I mean, just the shot of that was just epic. And getting to work with Larry Lamb. Larry Lamb was literally, if you guys remember the old Ninja Turtles, the real one. He was Leonardo. He was in the suit of Leonardo. So cool. This oak, I mean, he's worked with all of the top guys. It was just fascinating having him tell us how professional he found us and how prepared we were and just being thrown in like that, watching the sequence once. And that was an epic moment, and that was in Momentum. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool.
I still remember, it just made me remember when we did that music video for PH Fast.
Yes.
And then we had all that fighting and choreography that we did. You went through
the glass table.
Two glass tables.
Yeah. No. I wanted to go through this glass table the second time. You were like, no, we got this shot. We only did it once. Although we had
wasn't it the big
one massive glass table, and then the glass set of shelves where I had to kick off Alex's chest into the wall and slide down 3 of the shelves.
Yeah.
And then pick up Chelsea and run through the wall.
Which was
that
crazy.
was insane.
Yeah. But that was a fun shoot.
Man, can I tell you, I saw that at Rocking the Daisies, like on the biggest of screens. They play it while he was on stage.
Oh, really?
And they did it twice, and I literally had this bartender. We went in VIP, me and a man, and we're like, can we have a whiskey and a beer? And the bartender's like, frozen, and we're like, so, whiskey, beer, did you hear? He's like, you are the girls. And we're like, what? The girls that were on the TV. And we were like, oh my God, a little bit like starstruck ourselves that somebody's actually recognized us. It was insane. And he was like, can I get a photo with you girls? Can I get an order? And we're like trying to act all cool. Like, of course you can get a photo. But you must know how good it looked on that big screen, bro. Yeah. Yeah, that was a killer job.
And what, so what was that? Yeah, what was that? I know you just spoke about that one job, but what was that? Apart from that, what was that like other job that you've done that you just it was that I'm talking about that moment that you're on set and you're like, fuck, I'm loving this, and you've got a great role or a great character. Like what was that?
Oh man, that has to be Singleholic. And it came as the biggest surprise. It's basically supporting lead character in a romantic comedy set in Mauritius, shooting for a month. And I get this call from my agent going, hi, Jenna, what are you doing for the month of May? And I'm like, May? Sure, like nothing, it's winter. She's like, so there was this actress. I still don't know who this actress is. I'm still quite curious. She doesn't want to sign the health declaration. So either she's pregnant or maybe she's on psychosomatic drugs or something. She doesn't want to declare it. And this wonderful girl by the name of Roxanne. So they were obviously all sitting in the meeting. Now the supporting lead I can just imagine the scenario. And the producer, his name will come to me. He goes, oh my God, who can we throw in the deep end? Who can we literally pluck out and put them in this movie and they don't know what the hell's going on? And she sticks up her hand going, Jenna Saras. She can be thrown in the deep end. She's easygoing. She'll get it. and Stru's Bob. That's how I got the part and rocked up in Mauritius.
That's awesome though. It's always great to travel as well. You know?
I mean, it wasn't even real. It didn't feel real, to be honest. And I got the whole script, get there, and then they tell me, I've learned my stuff. And then they tell me, oh no, we're rewriting everything. Yeah, sure. So forget everything that you just learned. I've only had a week with it anyway. Yeah. And they literally were writing per day the night before. Yeah. So that was...
I've been on a few films like that.
Stretch that acting muscle, bro. Calm down to an absolute panic. Yeah. And be like, cool. The end of every day, which is a long day, now you got to feed yourself and now start running your lines. Yeah. But you're in your 3-bedroom penthouse, so looking over the sea, we're having that moment like, I can actually do this, bro. Yeah. I've done it. I'm doing it.
But I always think it's great, you know, doing what we do when we get to travel. Oh, it just feels a little bit better.
Rare,
you know, it's rare. That's why rare. I've never been on a commercial where I've had to travel to a different country. You know, I always speak to some actors,
not yet,
and they say, oh yeah, we went to Mauritius, or we shot this in England, or we shot this wherever, and I'm like, fucking hell, why can't I get a job like that? Where we get a little bit of a holiday,
exactly, and you rocking the British passport. All you need is that ticket, bro.
Yeah, it'll just be nice, and that's you see, that's always the thing when you hear about these ads. You know, where it's overseas, I'm like, got my passport, got my English passport as well. So it's always like, maybe they'll pick me because I've got my English passport as well. But they fucking don't. But it's always like a bonus if you know if we get to
travel time, man.
Yeah. I've always thought the cool thing about you is, you know, you used to do a lot of, like we were talking about now, like doing stunt work or screen fighting. Yeah. So you've always been game to do this like cool action stuff, and you are that person that I've rang many times where I'm like, you know, I'll ring up and I'm like, I know Jenna will be up for this. I know she'll be like amped for this, and you know, put that time and energy into, you know, into whatever character or whatever what we're doing. Totally. And but yeah, how do you? I mean, you know, like, how did you get into acting? Like, how do you get into it?
So, believe it or not, it was like a scenario of, while waitressing, I had like 11 different tables in one double shift telling me that I should be an actress or a model. Yeah. And it was like, okay, like my guru told me, like, you need to see signs of synchronicity, or like just basically signs. I was like, okay, let's take this for a sign. I had dreadlocks in my hair at the time, was like, bugger this, let's take the dreads out. Let's give this modeling thing a try. Even though I'm very much a tomboy, I wasn't drawn to the modeling thing, but it's like, I'm photogenic.
But you're also a skater.
Yes, totally. Skater since I was like 10, and more so in Bolito, in the dreadlocks and the skateboarding. I mean, the skateboarding was my mode of transport. It was my life. Yeah. Like, skating was my life. And when I did the modeling thing, and I think one of the first jobs I got in Durban, starting, was for a music video for a German guy named Max, and I was the skater chick, and they closed down a whole Durban road for us to skate down, when at the time it was very illegal to skate in the road. So it was like, yes, you know, that skateboarding vengeance of we skating the road, and I'm getting paid for it. And my dad even saying, like, skateboarding's never going to amount to anything. He even took my board that he paid for at the time and smashed it against the wall and broke it in half, because I came home covered in roasties the one day, and saved for my own board and, you know, whatever, and skateboard, it'll never amount to anything. And then moved to Cape Town. I think one of the first jobs I did was a skateboarding job, and I think I cleared 30 grand, and like phoned my dad. So I booked this job, and I've cleared 30 grand for skateboarding. So skateboarding won't amount to what? And he was like, well done, my girl. Okay. But yeah, the stunts all came from skateboarding, because you think about it, you got to fall. The only way you know you're skating and learning and getting better is by falling. Yeah,
but that's why you get these like young kids that are like amazing at like skateboarding. Cause I think you do got to start at a young age.
Definitely.
But that's why like these like young kids are doing it, and they're like amazing, but they've just got no fear.
No fear.
They just got no fear, and that's how they get like
so good.
So good.
Absolutely,
you know? Because now, like, you know, I used to skateboard a little bit. I would never call myself a skateboarder, but it's one of those things where you just got to stick at it and just and keep doing it to get better and better. And then as you get older, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna break an ankle doing that, or I'm gonna break a leg, and I'm like, I'll just rather not fucking do it. And it's like when it came to stunts, I used to do a little bit of stunt work here and there. And, you know, I've also gone through some glass tables and stuff like that, and done some stair rolls and some screen fighting. But that's that's it. I'm not going to do any like high falls or
No, nothing with speed. Nothing after Victoria Jackson. We don't go there.
Yeah.
We don't
so
go
it's like, because I mean, if you're out for work, then you're out. You can be out for like fucking a year or more.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things you be like, I'll let them do.
I'll let them do
that.
So it's nice to if you do get to do your own stunts as that lead character, it's never going to be anything that hectic. Because you want to get that shot. And you want to do it a few times, but not to the detriment of the actor or of yourself. But you're going to know how to fall properly, and you could do it over and over and over and over,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, when it came to, like, the PH Fat video, it's one of those, like, it's like, we've got it.
Yes.
I want to do it again. And I'm like, I know, but we've got it. It's like, I don't want the risk of somebody hitting themselves or something like that. We've done it. It's like when we were shooting underwater with the red camera, and you get this like bag where you put the camera in and you zip it up, and then you get like this Vaseline that you put on the zip, and I'm like, is that it? Is that it? And that goes underwater, and you see all these bubbles, and you're thinking, like, fuck, that's like buying a new fucking car. You know what I mean? And it's like, when we got it, and then Gareth, the DP, was like, cool, let's do another one. I'm like, dude, we got it. It's like, I don't want to risk it. Like, we've got it. Like, we're just tempting fate now. It's like, we've got what we needed. Let's just call it a day.
Was that the Magic you said? What camera was that?
It was red. It was red.
Red, red.
But it was just like, just seeing a red going underwater in like a see-through bag. I'm just like,
I feel a bit nauseous just watching it.
So, and seeing all those bubbles go, and I was like, is it? And what we normally do is in the industry, we put tampons in the bag, so if any water does get in,
it'll be absorbed.
It'll absorb
Clever.
it. So it's like, we brought it up, and there was still like this much water at the bottom. So you've got the camera, and then you've got like this little layer.
Yes.
But then you see all these tampons that just absorbed all this water, and I'm like, fuck. It's like, we're definitely not going to do it again.
Nice.
So it's always crazy. But have you ever been on set where there's I always find it really interesting, like, where there's been like something crazy on set, whether it's good or like a bad story or a funny story.
Oh, well, I can tell you that, being on Singleholic, first time ever, I didn't even know that this was a thing. The lead, Erica Ash, was I got marked up actually first by the lovely Ian Arrow, and then he goes to her and she's like, no, I don't. He's like, no, what do you mean? I need to lapel you, I need to mark you. No, I suffer from this wave sickness from the lapel. It makes me nauseous and I forget my lines. And I was like...
Sounds like an excuse.
That sounds like diva. But she was so cool and was like, okay, fine, this is new, This is new for me, never heard this before. Like, okay, we'll just boom you and you can just stand closer to me and we'll work with it. But I found it quite interesting.
But the camera didn't bother her.
No, but the camera didn't bother her at all.
Or the Wi-Fi.
No, the Wi-Fi or the 5G.
It's just the mic. I've got this one friend. He'll never hold his phone like this. It's always like Star Trek, where he's just like speaking to somebody like this. He's like, I don't want it like too close to my
yes,
to
he's
my
paranoia
ear.
with
He's
the waves.
paranoid.
He's gonna get brain cancer.
And then if I'm in the car with him and there's like people like honking their horns, he's always like this. Like that, holding his ears. I'm like, dude, dude, I've seen you out like in a club with music, and you're not doing that. So it's just like
hypersensitive, selectively when he feels
selectively, but you also do casting now as well.
Yes, I'm working at the casting company in Oldcastle Breweries for the lovely Ian Milne.
Yeah, he's great, super nice guy.
Freaking most intelligent oak. Like, he is orbit, dude. His brain is working a million miles an hour always.
Yeah, he's great. I haven't seen him for a while, but I always
he is
enjoy.
Going. He actually messaged me now. We got 2 jobs in for next week, which is cool. Extra studio work. And you know what I love? Having been an actor for 18 years in this town, now I'm doing the front of house and I'm loading the footage and I'm loading the stills and I'm typing people's names in and, and it's actually quite interesting to see the other side of the spectrum. Like, how it gets loaded, this and this. I mean, I'm not watching the footage. There's no way I would even have time to do that. But sometimes we do have to play back from a previous day to show a casting director. And then I get to see those clips. And often I've actually auditioned for that and I go, oh, that's interesting, that they did it like that or whatever. And then they might book it or they don't book it. And then I go, well, maybe I should have done it like that. And then she doesn't book it. So then it's like, so that's why you can't get in your head.
Like, in the position that you're in, do you ever put forward or think, so-and-so would be great as this? Or
Yes. Often people, if we're running 2 different commercials, and then somebody comes in for the other commercial, then I'll go, actually, you actually work pretty well for this side, for this character as well. Ian's kind of given me free reign for that because he knows that my judgment and my know-how of the industry is pretty good.
And as an actor as well.
As an actor, I know what they would be capable of.
Yeah.
So that's quite fun sometimes that I get to go, oh, do you want to do another one? And they're like, oh, cool, yeah. So.
And how do you, like, as an actor, like, how, you know, the reason why I'm asking this for people listening and upcoming actors, like, how do you prep for a role or learn lines or prep for an audition?
Well, when I get the sides, I don't run off and go print it. I generally write it out. I've got this journal, my script journal, call it. And I write it all out, do the highlighting, kind of run it so that it's in my head, and then I record myself. I record not what I have to say, I record what the other person is saying, and I literally have these conversations with myself, giving myself those small gaps to reply. And I just run it over and over and over and over.
And how are you with dialogue, learning like dialogue? Because I think I used to be better. Maybe it's just because my brain's like scattered now because I got directing and doing this and I've got so many things. But it's like, so like when you're learning lines, do you find it easy to learn lines or?
Ironically, it's funny. People are like, Jenna, you smoke weed. How the hell do you learn your bloody lines? And I'm like, it comes naturally to me. Like,
but it's good that like the technique that you got, you record
the technique is there.
So at least you're hearing the other voice. And
exactly. I mean, it's all about listening. Acting is about listening. So the second you hear what the other person is saying, it generally prompts you for what you have to say. What I do find difficult is if it's a monologue. I don't like doing monologues for auditions, especially auditions. I'm like, no, dude, give me the part and I'll learn this monologue. Yeah. But it stresses me out, monologues, because you've got to give your own beats to it. Nobody's reading you in. Nobody's giving you what you need to say. So I find that pretty difficult. But give me 20 pages of back and forth. I remember that in like a heartbeat. It's crazy. Yeah. So a time stuck out on set of a TV commercial once. Like we had shot the cool chilled stuff and, just on the surfboard there with the waves crashing, and then they're like, okay, now we're going to shoot the stuff in the water. And me and my pretend dad are like, cool. And they're like, no, we're going to go to the harbor because we know we're going out. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going out. Like, how far out are we going with this?
Is this during the day or at night?
This was literally at about 6:30 at night. So the sunset was already going down. Yeah. Like it was already start happening. I'm like, feeding time. So me and my pretend dad are like, Martin was his name. As we're getting in the boat, he's like, okay, when we're on the sea, remember it's a surface thing. You don't ever mention a Johnny. And for those of you who don't know what a Johnny is, it's a shark. So when we're on that ocean, you don't talk about a Johnny, you don't mention a Johnny, no stories about Johnnies, nothing.
Why Johnny?
It's just it's a Durban thing. A Durban thing, you call sharks Johnnies. I don't know. I think they've given it that nickname. So, pass up for the Johnny. So, whatever.
You know what Johnny means in English slang. So in England when we were kids, not now, but when we were kids, a Johnny was always a condom. Are
you kidding?
So don't talk about Johnnies. Just
don't talk about the Johnny floating.
Floated in the water.
Okay, that would probably be equally as scary, to tell you the truth, actually. So we go out, now we're far out. Now we're almost to Robben Island, like it was close. Like I could see the things moving on the island. And they're like, cool, hop out of the boat here. The guy gets out with his, I think it was an Alexa, but in a hectic housing, like those hectic housings.
Not the one I was talking about.
Not the one with the zip back. not that.
That's the one I thought we were gonna get.
Yeah,
I got the zip back.
These ones are proper, man. And here this guy goes in, and we get into our position, and we got to be like half a meter close to each other, looking at the sunset, basically complaining that there's no waves. And we were there, and we don't know where the DOP is. We don't know if he's underneath us. He's all around. And while we're busy talking and having this dad-daughter conversation with smiles, something touches both of our feet. And it's that moment of kind of keeping the smiles on, hiding the terror, and looking at each other like, oh, that was interesting. I wonder what that was. It was the guy's flipper. And yes, I think the water went a little bit yellow. And we hauled ass and we got the shot. But
I think if Jaws wasn't made, life would be very different.
That movie destroyed me.
For a lot of people.
And Dark Water, it's a total freak out. Freak out.
Like, what films did you grow up watching?
Oh man, everything from The Never-Ending Story to The Land Before Time. My dad and I, you know what? I think that's why I'm an actress. My dad actually would take me to the cinema religiously every weekend, and then every Monday he was off. he would have a half day. We'd go to this place called the Doll's House in Johannesburg and go and get VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And go choose that tape, and that was our thing on the Monday. And it's like no surprise that I became an actor, because my dad like was so in awe of these movies and these action films and how into it he was, and we'd always speak about the movie afterwards. And it's no surprise I became an actor, actually. Think about it.
I always say, and I've constantly said it a lot of time, but I miss going into that video shop and just looking at that wall.
Yeah.
You know, I miss that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it's just, when you were a kid, it was such a big thing.
Big thing.
It was so cool just to sit there and look at all this artwork, you know.
Totally, man.
Yeah. And then, you know, you said, you know, during COVID and stuff like that, which has been and gone. But you said you started like working at like
the festivals, man. Oh yeah. So 11 years of civil service waitering. Helps to be on set because you got to stand for those hours, but on festivals, it's incredible. Like,
sorry, this was after COVID.
So it was after COVID. I worked at a couple festivals for free as like a volunteer before COVID.
So you could party.
Yeah, basically, so you can get a free ticket. Yeah. In a sense, in a nutshell. And then afterwards, now after COVID, now acting hasn't come back. And it was literally like, well, there's this gig happening in Croatia. It's called Momento Demento. It literally means moment of pure madness. 7-day psychedelic trance party. And I was like, well, there's no acting work, and Europe is happening. No festivals were happening here in South Africa. They were literally considered illegal at the time. And I was like, well, let's go. And I did my volunteering for the first year. So everybody volunteers. And you are blood, sweat, and tears. Shoveling, it's manual labor. I was doing the tents, but I proved myself so much. You know, South Africans, we work like bosses. Yeah. And they were like, cool, next year we're paying you 120 euros a day to do the tenting team. We're going to feed you 3 times a day, and we're going to send you to Switzerland, Germany, Greece, and you get extra cash for that. And literally coming back ripped and ready for season. Yeah. Like I was getting paid to get ready for season, for commercial season. Yeah. Come back tanned, like literally. I mean, the manual labor side of things it's no joke. Okay. Yeah, so that was quite cool, knowing that I hadn't kept all my eggs in one basket, because COVID really taught me that. I mean, we made a sauce even. We made a Balkan sauce that we're selling at Food Barn. I mean, it's crazy. I'm an actor, and I work front of house, and I even help in studio. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sometimes they're like, we need a granny. The grandpa doesn't have a granny to act with. And I'll be like, okay. And I'd like play the granny or play the kid or... Yeah, no, it's that's the moral of that story. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Definitely.
So what do you... So where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time. That's one of those things, where I'd like to see myself in 5 to 10 years.
Because you're not married, right?
No, not married. No kids. But in a committed relationship with the wonderful man Matthew Harrington. We've been together 5 years.
Oh, it's been 5 years.
Been 5 years. Can you believe it? 5 years in Feb. And obviously we've spoken about marriage and things. I don't know if kids are our plan.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get married?
You know what? I feel like I'm a long relationship person. Like, what's the difference between marriage and what I'm actually in now, except for that contract with the government? He's
going to propose to you after he sees this video.
Hurry up. Yeah, but I don't think anything will actually change, except for maybe like, the financial security of maybe a joint bank account. Yeah.
But I like that one, yeah.
No, because then it's like what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. You also spend my money, God damn it. Yeah. But the marriage thing, I suppose it's where everybody kind of goes to, but we don't have to go there. I think our relationship is so strong,
Do you think, like the age that you are now, do you feel like pressured that you've got to do any of that stuff or anything like that?
I'm one of those chicks that I'm like, no, all my mates are having babies at the moment. All of them have either gotten married or having babies without being married. And I look at them, I'm like, I no, how? Yeah. I don't want those kiddles, bro. I don't want the kids. The commitment of the marriage, sure, but the kids thing, I'll leave that for the professionals. Yeah. That's a professional thing.
And then acting-wise?
Acting-wise, I feel good things are happening, because before COVID, I was having my champagne year. I mean, I was booking things. The commercials are going well. And then it all stopped, and I feel like it's kind of coming back now. Like just getting that part on Just Now Jeffrey was super cool. Guns, explosions, blood. And that was like the other day, and I hadn't booked a commercial since last year, Feb, Ryobi, Max Power Woman, which has rolled over again. So we're getting that money in June. So stoked for that. And it's definitely coming back here, Ryan. Like things are, like I feel auditions are coming back. I mean, I booked just now Jeffrey in the room with Bonnie Lee Bauman. Yeah. It's been 3 years since I've actually done a tangible audition in a room. It's been self-tape.
Do you prefer self-tape? I always ask this to actors. Do you prefer being in the room or self-tape?
See, it's weird because when it's commercial, I want to be in the room. I hate self-taping for commercials. But with TV,
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? But when it's movies and series, I quite like the self-tapes, but I also love being in the room because then you're getting that direction from the casting director who's been chatting to the director. She knows those little things that you just have no fucking clue about. So it's I almost want to do both. Like, let me self-tape and then get me in the room type of thing. But that often, in a perfect world, it's not going to happen like that. But I enjoy both. But yeah, the angst, definitely the anxiety is more when you got to go in the room.
Yeah.
Got to take that CBD.
I just hate it. Because it's because I care about it so much that I don't want to fuck up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather do that self-tape, and then if I get a call back from there, then I got to know my shit, and then I got to perform.
Yeah.
Or just get booked off the self-tape will be better.
Oh, I mean, yeah, perfect world. Book us from the self-tape, damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, Jenna, thank you so much for chatting. It's been a pleasure, as always.
It's been great, Ryan. Love you, bro.
Cool.
Awesome stuff. Yes.
Awesome.
Wow.
Fishies!